Hi guys, it's Kai and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little bit of a different one. Not exactly a sewing tutorial, though I am going to show you how I made this outfit. Well, I didn't make it from scratch. I got this bra and panties and then I've just covered them in rhinestones and fringe. I've had a few of you ask me how exactly I sew my garments. I guess I thought the whole process was self-explanatory, which is why I hadn't done a video on it in the past. But I am going to show you guys my tips and tricks here in this video. This is very inspired by like salsa dancing and showgirls. That's kind of where I drew my inspiration. As I said, I did buy this bra and panties as a matching set. Now, believe it or not, I am a man. I have no shame walking into any women's section and fully buying an outfit from there, but buying a bra and panties at like a specialty store where they have to measure you up and like pair you with a sales associate that helps you out and like knocks on the door of your fitting room asking you if it's okay. That is a little bit awkward even for me, so I've kind of been putting off this project for a while, but I went to Senza. They were very sweet there. Shout out to the sales associate, Miss Carly, for being very nice to me. I decided to spend a little bit of money on like a quality bra. So this as a matching set I paid $50 for, and the bra is like fully padded, so it like fits perfectly the contours of my flat chest. For reference, it's just a 36C, but this is what the outfit is looking like from the back. It's got this cute little lace design, but I covered most of that up with red rhinestones and fringe, but I'm going to show you guys exactly everything I did. So this is the bra that I've got from the mall. I like the lace design on the cups, but I wanted to cut off the excess lace that's hanging down because I don't want this really to look like lingerie. I want it to look like a showgirl outfit, not just something for the bedroom. Along the top, there was also some lace trim. I tried gluing it back so I wouldn't leave a raw edge there by cutting it. So that's what those clips are there for. They're just clamping it down, but honestly, it was kind of unnecessary hassle. I reckon you can just cut off the excess trim there and cover any raw edges with like rhinestones. Anyway, depending on what kind of bra you buy, you might not even need to do this step at all, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing from start to finish. Well, now we can begin with the process of rhinestoning. My design is going to be rhinestones about 3/4 of the way up and then the beaded fringe along the top. So I'm starting at the bottom, and the glue that I'm using is E6000. I really love this stuff. Make sure it's clear, by the way, not some other color. This takes a while to dry fully, almost like 2 full days. And that's the only downside, but it's really strong. You don't have to worry about losing a single stone. What I do is I always pour my stones into a paper plate and I apply them with this little wax tip applicator that I got from Michael's. Makes the whole process go by so quickly. If you do any kind of stoning, some sort of wax tip tool I think is a must-have. I'll never go back to using tweezers. I'm placing my stones quite close together. They're not touching, but they are close enough that I just apply the glue at a long string versus individual dots. Even though this glue does take like 2 days to fully cure, it does start to dry out in just a few minutes, so if you put down too much glue, then the last bit of it, once you get to it, it won't be as sticky anymore when you try to blaze down the stone. So you can only put down so much glue at a time, but this is something you really quickly get a feel of when you get started. I really like stoning. I don't mind the tedium of it all. I always put on like a podcast or audiobook or something on YouTube. I like to buy my stones on eBay from China. They're not Swarovski quality, but they're a big step up from acrylic craft store rhinestones. I mean, look at that sparkle. I made my rows smaller and smaller as they went up to leave like 4 centimeters of space along the top of the bra for the fringe. So this is beaded fringe from the fabric store, and I'm going to be gluing it on. So we're going to do a big string of glue right where the stones end, and we'll be adding the fringe in rows until we reach the top of the bra. You have to be really careful not to get the fringe in the glue. You must only glue the strip of ribbon it's attached to, not the actual beads of fringe. So before I started gluing, I make sure that the piece I was about to glue on had the fringe flipped upwards neatly so it was out of the way and I could really focus on just precisely laying down the ribbon. This is where the long drying time of E6000 gets annoying because you can't fidget with it too much, because even after a couple of minutes of waiting, it can still possibly wiggle around and wiggle out of place. So you have to clamp it in place with clips or pins. I tend to like clips because pins, I fear, could get attached with the glue, and next thing you know, you come back in the morning and you can't pull out the pins. So when I got to the end of the bra, I just cut off the excess, and I think I waited at least an hour or so until the ribbon really stopped moving so that I could remove the clips. And you see if I flip the fringe down, it sits nicely, but I do want it to be more full. So let's do another row on top of that. And to make sure I clearly am seeing what I'm doing, I'm gonna flip the fringe up on the ribbon that I'm gluing down so it's not in my way, right? And glue down a little at a time and use your clips to your advantage. I think I glued on 3 or 4 rows in total. I'm not sure because for the top, since the straps kind of have this funky triangle shape, I had to press it down in like a triangle formation to make it work. And that's pretty much all I did for the bra cups. I didn't add fringe to the straps around the back because that would stop them from stretching, but I did add stones on the lace designs to make the bra sparkle from every angle. Even if I'm covering up the back with long hair, it's worth the extra work if you can only see this for the 1 second that I'm spinning around. So much for the bra. Let's move on to the panties. Unlike the cups of the bra, the panties are basically 4-way stretch, which makes things different for us. You can't use regular E6000 and glue in a long string because that string of glue won't stretch with the fabric, and next thing you know, your panties aren't stretching or the glue is cracking. So I went ahead and ordered the E6000 Fabric Fuse Edition, which claims to have extreme stretch, and this stuff you can indeed glue in a string and it will stretch. Unfortunately, I found it came out of the tube way too wet and it wasn't immediately sticky enough. Like I would press the stone down into it. Sometimes it wouldn't even stick. It would come back up, still attached to my wax tip, which was annoying. So I went back to my trusty regular E6000. To get around the fact that a string of glue won't stretch, just glue it in dots instead and you've solved your problem. I glued the surface of the panties in dots, just in a design that I thought looked pretty. I kind of just followed the pattern of the lace. I didn't stone the lowest crotch part because you hardly really see that. I mean, for God's sakes, it's basically on your taint. When stoning garments, it's smart to have some barrier like this paper plate behind it so you don't end up gluing the front and back together. And because of how this glue takes so much time to dry, you do have to wait about a day or so and then do the back and the sides all separately. So hope you have time to spare. Rhinestoning is just not a last minute thing to do. I know I wanted some fringe on my panties. I wanted to shake my hips and for it to flow and move, but my issue was that the panties need to stretch over my butt for me to wear them, but if I attach fringe all the way around the waist, it won't stretch anymore. So there's a number of solutions that you could try out, but I'm going to show you guys my idea. I went to the fabric store and I got a small cut of a similar red lace and I created a small little strip about 5 centimeters wide and just about 5 centimeters longer than my hip measurement. Basically, my idea was to create a belt of fringe that I can Velcro on so that I can stretch the panties over and I would attach the fringe over top like a belt so that it looks like it's all just one piece. You can buy Velcro for pennies a yard. It's dirt cheap and you can sew it on with no problem. So I sewed a strip of it to both ends of my makeshift belt and now I'm going to attach my fringe to it. Unlike my bra, this belt is just one long flat strip of fabric, so I can actually sew the fringe on with a machine instead of gluing it, which makes things much faster. Just make sure to be sewing on the ribbon only and not to hit the beads of fringe because that might break your needle. I even switched to a zipper foot actually so that my needle could get closer to the beads, but I washed it very carefully to make sure it never actually hit. Do as many rows as you need to cover the width of the belt. I put the rows as close to each other as I could, but if you need to space them apart, totally understand. This type of fringe is not cheap. I wanted a way to ensure that it's going to attach to the panties and look like it's all one piece and not show any skin in between. So I also decided to use Velcro to attach the belt to the panties, but only in 2 spots at my sides. If I put Velcro all around the waistband of the panties, that would kind of defeat the whole purpose. I mean, the whole point of all of this was to not have anything around the waistband that would hinder the stretch. But 2 spots on the sides is going to be all right. I was able to sew it onto the panties with a straight stitch, and then I tried it on and fit the belt over top to decide where the opposite side of the Velcro had to sit. But I couldn't sew it onto the belt because by the time I had thought of this, I had already sewn on all the beaded fringe, so I just attached it with a good old E6000. Once all of your E6000 has dried and you've cut out all your loose threads, you are finally finished with the costume. Alright you guys, so this is the finished outfit. I'm going to show you up close exactly how the panties and belt work if that didn't make any sense to you. So basically the fringe part is just a belt that goes over top. And the reason why is because, as I said, I need these panties to stretch over my body to be able to fit them on. And if I had sewn the fringe all the way around, these wouldn't stretch anymore. So what I do is I'll put these on. It's a little bit hard to see because it's all red, but you can see right here is 2 inches of Velcro that I sewed onto the hips. So here and here. Then what I did to my belt, since it Velcros in the back like this, I connected in the back. Then the 2 pieces where the Velcro would fall would be here and here. So taking it off, these are the two places on the belt that I glued the opposite side of the Velcro. So now when I put it on, what I'll do is I'll connect one side of the Velcro there to the belt, and then I pull this across like that to connect it to the other side. Then the belt just Velcros together in the back like that. And now you can shake around and it looks like it's only 2 pieces, but it's actually 3. I really like the way that this project turned out. I'm not really 100% happy with it. I kind of wish that the panties did have a little bit more fringe. I think if I were doing this again, I would just add some fringe directly to the panties, but then I'd add some sort of zipper or Velcro in the back so I can fit them on without the stretch. Anyway, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video and that you learned something cool. If you did, let me know down in the comments what else you want to see me make, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see some more pictures of me wearing this, be sure to head over to my Instagram. I actually paired this with this huge feather headpiece that I made, as well as a little sequin tearaway coat that I will show you guys how to make in a future video. But until next time, I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!